Part 2. Everyone's got different numbers! As people all over the world started farming and living together in bigger groups, and cities and civilizations grew, they all came up with different symbols and objects to represent groups of things. This got around the problem of all their little lines. The Incas used knots in a rope, Nigerians used shells, the ancient Chinese used abacuses. The ancient Egyptians showed one thing with a stick, 10 with someone's heel, 100 with a coiled rope, 1,000 with a lotus flower, 10,000 with a pointing finger, 100,000 with a tadpole, and 1,000,000 with a person looking excited. The Greeks used letters as numbers. Before the Greeks, numbers had been used for practical purposes, counting food, animals, or people. But the Greeks found numbers in all sorts of shapes in nature and thought it took them closer to God. The Romans did lots of great things, but they didn't do much great maths. Their number system using letters got very long and complicated with bigger numbers, and so it wasn't very useful for working things out. It's okay though, they were more interested in taking over the world. Meanwhile, about 500 years before Jesus was born, the ancient Indians came up with their own symbols, and they just happened to be the best. Look familiar? They're called Arabic numerals, but they're from India, not Arabia. Makes total sense. Pretty great, but this isn't why the system is the best. It's what the ancient Indians did 800 years later. They invented zero! Woo! What's so good about nothing? Said the Romans. Everything. It means that with just 10 symbols, we can make any number imaginable. How comes? 'Cause place value. Heard of it? By using 0 as a placeholder,
We can change the value of each digit depending on its position in a number.
try making 10 million when you're counting lines, cavemen. Try making 10 million with your Roman numerals, Roman. I've run out of numbers!
Oi! We've used place value before!
Said the Babylonians, ancient Chinese and Aztecs. Yeah, but you didn't have 0, so you left a blank space and it got all complicated. Then the Indians leapt ahead with all sorts of discoveries, like the Earth is round, not flat, and it spins around, and it orbits the sun. No European discovered this until thousands of years later.
And then they were put in prison for it. So next time you do some maths, just stop and think about ancient India, where our number system came from, and how important the invention of 0 was. But how did Arabic numerals from India find their way to us in Europe? Watch part 3 to find out what happens next.